Hello all, welcome to my channel. My name is Pearline Young. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how God blessed me with my apartment that I'm in right now. I'm sharing this story to praise God, but also to encourage anyone who is currently going through a situation where they feel like they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, or just to inspire people to trust God more and to trust the process, but also to remember that faith without works is dead. So let's get into it. This story takes place back in March of this year, so March 2021. I was living at a different apartment and the lease was about to be up in 2 months. So the leasing office wanted to know if I was going to renew my lease or was I going to move on. And I'm like, you know what? To give a little more background, I did graduate Kent State University. Go Flashes, go to Flashes, hey. So I did graduate college in December 2020. So after I graduated college, I'm like, there's no need for me to be here anymore in this college town. I've been in Kent for like 7 to 8 years. It took me like 7 years to finish college. I don't need to be here anymore. I'm from Toledo. I can like move back to Toledo or move anywhere. Have my degree, I can go. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna renew my lease. I'm gonna get the heck out of here. So I, signed this paper and I'm like, all right, maybe I can move down to Georgia where my dad is at. And I also have an uncle in Georgia. So I'm like, Georgia can be an option. I gotta get out of here though. So to make a long story short, April comes around the corner and I end up deciding not to move down to Georgia where my dad is at because it was just the wrong timing. After I made that decision, I'm like, you know what? I don't know where I'm gonna go. Let me see if I can still stay here at that apartment, because they used to do like a month-to-month lease. Like after your lease was up, you can do month-to-month. And I was a good tenant. I paid my bills on time all the time. So I asked, I'm like, hey, can I do a month-to-month? Unfortunately, due to COVID and other circumstances, they weren't doing month-to-month anymore. I'm like, Arr! So I'm like, well, do you guys have any like people that's trying to need a sublease or something like that? They said there was like 2 options. And then later on, when I checked on those options were no longer an opportunity anymore. And I was like, there's nothing you can do. They're like, sorry, Pearline, there's nothing. We don't have anything available. And I'm just like, great. Because my back was against the wall. But deep down inside, I did not want to live there another year. The apartment was okay just to get me through college, but like living there after college, like it was so small. Like there was only 2 windows, there was an air conditioner, like there was no air circulation. Cause I wasn't at home a lot in the summer, things would mold. It would get really muggy inside the apartment and some of my stuff had mildew on it. So I had to throw a lot of stuff away when I first had moved there. And I'm just like, I don't want to live through that experience again. And then also the kitchen was so small, like literally my chest is on the refrigerator and my back is on the stove and then my elbow is in the sink. I'm like, this is way too small. And then the bathroom, it was like a bathroom from the 1970s. Every time I walked up in that bathroom, I felt like I was on an episode of Good Times. The leasing office, the people there, they were really good. And the maintenance people, they were really good to me. And they made my experience great because of their personalities. And if I needed help with something, they definitely helped. But that apartment was a no. I had to go. So even though my back was against the wall, I'm like, let me just start looking for apartments around. So I'm calling apartments, and unfortunately, like a lot of the apartments, like they didn't have any availability until like the end of June or like early July. And I'm like, well, guess what? I gotta be out this apartment by May 31st. So May comes and I'm just like, oh my gosh, May is here. I gotta be gone by the end of this month. So it's like May 11th. My friend Demetra messaged me and she's like, hey, how's it going? Like just checking on me. And I tell her about my situation. And she was just basically saying like, just trusting God, trust the process. Obviously still look, she never worried about stuff like that because God always has her no matter what. And she was saying that her sister literally signed at least 3 days before her lease expired. I was like, what? So that was very inspirational. I'm like, thank you. Like, she be wise. And then I was talking to my friend Tiffany about the situation. And she was like, if you do need to crash on my couch for like 2 weeks or so, you definitely can. And I'm like, girl, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like from the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate that you are allowing me to stay in your home, your sanctuary. I appreciate it. But I was not trying to live on nobody's couch. I wasn't trying to live in no Airbnb, go house to house to house. I just want to go from apartment to apartment. I didn't want no co-signer. I didn't want none of that. I just want to be independent Pearl 2, the lean, and that's it. Only depend on God and not people. And sometimes I have issues on that. I'm working on it. You do need people, but I'm working on it. I kept looking at different apartments. I didn't really get any luck. And I had to like bump up the price range. I'm like, okay, great. The thing that always came to me was faith without works is dead. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know where I'm gonna live, but while I'm looking for where I'm gonna live, I need to be stacking up my money. So I start picking up overtime at my job, working, 6 to 8 hours a week, because that's the most you can work. And I'm like, look, I'm about to get this money while I still look. And it was such an exhausting time in my life. Like, I was so tired. Like, literally, I would work overnight, 12 hours overnight, get home, shower, look for apartments, and then sleep for like 3 or 4 hours, get back up, look for apartments again, and then get ready for work and go to work. I wasn't eating right. Like, it was a stressful time. I'm like, God, I just want some normalcy back in my life. It wasn't gonna be that easy. So May 16th came, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got like 2 weeks until I gotta move out of this place. What am I gonna do? My back is against the wall, blah, 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 blah. What am I gonna do? I kept looking at more apartments. I'm like, you know what? Let me just humble myself and, get some kind of apartment. So I took a tour of this apartment. I'm not gonna say the name, I'm just gonna call it Bacon Hill. So I had a friend that used to live at Bacon Hill, but I didn't really like it because there was so many ants in that place. And then like the wall seemed like it was made out of paper because you can hear the next door neighbor. Like, even if they're whispering, you can hear it. And I'm like, I don't want to live here because I like listening to my music and I like peace. I just didn't like it. But the leasing lady, like, just trying to pressure me to like, get the apartment. But something in me was like, no, do not rush. I know you don't know where you're gonna be living in 2 weeks, but do not rush. There was something in me, like a voice, do not rush. Take your time. So I ended up viewing the apartment. I left. I didn't call him back. I was like, nah, I don't want this. Like, there's something better. But I ain't gonna be stupid though. I'm gonna still keep this in the back of my mind. But like, I'm gonna, keep looking because I know there's something. Just keep trusting. So I kept looking. The next day, it was Tuesday, May 18th. I found this apartment in Stowe, and I scheduled an appointment to see it on that Wednesday, May 19th. So I was calling my friend Tiffany. I was telling her all about it. And she was like, yeah, I'll go with you. Like, if you need me, I'll be there. Like, that's my rider. And I was like, okay, yeah, I have a meeting with them or a tour at this time. Like, meet me here, blah, blah, blah. So then before I got off the phone, she prayed. And I'm sorry, I don't remember all that she said during the prayer. But what I do remember, she said something about not rushing. Like, God, please don't let her rush this process. Something. I just remember, do not rush. I went to work. I was talking to a coworker about, looking at the apartment. I'm like, I hope I get it. I get home and I'm like in the bathroom and it's like very silent. Like, when it's silent, things come to me. I hear things. So I heard a voice saying, Perline, check those reviews on that apartment. So sure enough, I checked a lot of reviews on that apartment. And they were not good. And a lot of them were the same thing. A lot of them said like they had legal issues. Like, they had to take legal action because of like the management there. And like there was like hidden fees. They got charged for stuff that they didn't even do. Like, I was like, whoa. I'm glad I checked those reviews. And I'm like, you know what? Even though my back is against the wall, I'm not gonna rush into something and get myself in deep trouble. So I'm like, you know what? I sent the screenshots to my friend Tiffany, and then she called. I was like, yeah, I don't want to check the apartment out anymore. I'm not trying to deal with that. So she understood. She's like, just let me know, just keep trying and stuff like that. And she's like, Perline, I do remember when I prayed for you, I did say do not rush. And she said, you made a good decision basically, because if you would have rushed, you could have gotten in trouble. So I got off the phone with her, kept looking for more apartments, and I didn't go to sleep until 12 p.m. So I'm tired. Like, I got off of work at 6 in the morning, and then I didn't go to sleep till 12 p.m. And then I had to be back at work later that night at midnight to do overtime. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm about to just sleep for a few hours, and then I'm about to look for some more apartments. So, you know, I slept for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I called more apartment places. So at like 7:50, my homeboy texted me like, hey, don't come into work tonight because there ain't no work for you to do. And I was like, hallelujah, I get to rest. But another part of me was like, dang, I needed those 6 hours, man. I need money, honey. But I was like, you know, rest is more important. So when I woke up, it was probably like 10 o'clock, and I started looking for more apartments. But this time, I bumped up the price range. Before, I had a certain price range I was looking at. I'm like, you know, I can afford to bump it up. So I bumped up the price range, and I found more apartments. And some apartments that I overlooked, I gave it a chance. I was like, okay. So I'm typing in my phone number, my email, requesting more information about these apartments. So, you know, I just keep looking all freaking night, all night long. So it's like almost 6 o'clock, about 6 o'clock, I guess. And I'm about to like close my eyes to really go to sleep. And then my phone started blowing up. I'm like, I know it ain't my eye candy blowing up my phone. This is early in the morning. Who could it be? And as I looked at my phone, like I picked up my phone, it kept blowing up. And I looked, I see these pictures of like an apartment. And then I see, how can we help you? And I'm just like, dang, what apartment is this? So I'm like, hey, hello, good morning. What apartment is this? And they tell me, blah, blah, blah. And then I asked, do they have like a 1-bedroom available? Blah, 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 blah. And then we texted, and then we end up talking on the phone. And then we end up scheduling the tour for like, you know, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I called my friend Tiffany, and I let her know, hey, I'm about to look at this apartment. You want to come with me? She said, yeah, let me know. Say the word, I'll be there. So then I sent the information to my friend that lived in Pennsylvania. She was also like trying to look for apartments for me in the area as well. So I sent her a link to that apartment, and you know, she let me know what she thought about it and pointed out some things to me. And I was like, cool. And then she's like, Perline, don't you have a financial advisor? I was like, girl, that's why you my friend. That's why 2 or more heads is better than one, because you know, one person can't think of it all. You need more people around you, so y'all put your ideas together and, you know, make stuff happen. When I hit up the financial advisor, I told him about the situation, and he was like, as long as Y equals MX plus B, you're good. And Y equal MX plus B. So I was good. Me and my friend Tiffany, we went to the apartment, we did a tour. I knew my back was against the wall, but when I walked in that apartment, I'm like, this is perfect. Like, it's far from campus, it's in a quiet area, it's really nice, very quiet, you know, very spacious. Like, I actually have a kitchen now. My chest ain't on the refrigerator, my booty ain't on the stove, and my elbow ain't in the sink. Like, there's space. I have a spacious bathroom, I have a spacious bedroom, I have more than one window, I have central air. I'm like, this right here, I told the guy who was giving me a tour, I'm like, yo, this is my apartment right here. Do not give this apartment away, okay? I tell him okay, like he was supposed to say, yes, ma'am. No, I don't know. But I was very confident. Anyway, I did call my uncle to run it by him, you know, see what he thought about it, blah, blah, blah. I ended up filling out the application. But when I went home to fill out the application, I seen a package by my door. And I looked, it was from my friend Haley. She had sent the package, and it came to my door just in time. I was like, what a coincidence. I told her that I wasn't going to like use the gift until I moved into my new apartment. So the day I found the perfect apartment, the package come in like as a official, like this is the one. So this is what she gave me. It's like the Pearl Tree of Life. It's very beautiful. I use it in my prayer closet. I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. I don't know, you know, the correlation to that. I just thought that was awesome. Like, it's confirmation that I finally got my apartment. So I filled the application, I sent them my pay stubs. I'm like, man, rent is pretty expensive over here. Like, I hope I don't need a co-signer. Yeah, I was really worried about that because I don't want no co-signer. I don't want to be sleeping on nobody's couch. I don't want to be living in no Airbnb. I ain't trying to sleep in my car. I'm not trying to sleep in a hotel. I just want to go from apartment to apartment. And that's what I wanted. And baby, that's what I got. The application was approved. I went to work. When I got off of work, I went home. I went straight home. I was like, ain't nobody talking to me after work. I'm going straight home. Zoom. I filled out all the paperwork, and I paid the deposit. It was mine. I had to pay a bill. Some like almost $500. It was like unexpected. It was like a $500 bill I had to pay. I'm like, are you serious? I'm trying to save up to move into this apartment, and now I got to throw $500 out the window. Like $500. I don't have money like that. And I was like, you know what? I ain't about to worry about it. At least I'm handling my business, and God's gonna take care of the rest because He sees me trying. He sees me doing my thing. I paid the bill and I just kept it moving. I go to work Friday night. I go to work Saturday night. I go to work Sunday night. And then Monday, I'm like, let me go ahead and work some overtime, get I'm tired, but I need the money for this apartment. You gotta do what you gotta do to get what you want. I got to work, and I believe I only stayed there for like an hour to train someone, but they didn't have any more work, so overtime started to slow down. I was like, wait a minute. Once I got all the money I needed, overtime just mysteriously slowed down. I don't know if that was God trying to tell me like He's in control. He's the one making this happen, to trust Him. He got my back. Like, the way that happened, as soon as I got as much money as I needed, overtime slowed down. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And then like, I want to rewind it back a little bit. Like earlier in that week, like last week, the week before, when I was supposed to work 6 hours, but my homeboy texted me and said not to come to work. Had I had come to work for 6 hours that night, I would have been in trouble. I would have worked over 68 hours. And I didn't even realize I had, already worked the maximum. If I would have went in, I would have been 6 hours over. Because at my job, you're only supposed to work 68 hours a week unless you have special permission. And they do that for safety reasons, because back in the day, people used to take all the overtime. And it got to the point where they work so much, they would drowsy drive. And drowsy driving is very equivalent to drunk driving. Fast forward to the next one, back to what I was saying earlier, when overtime slowed down, and then it slowed down for like a while. And I was like, you know what? God is good. I got what I needed. And now I'm ready to move. So the next week, I paid whatever else I needed to pay, and I was on my way to the apartment, and I'm just like, wow, God is so good. And just even me telling this story, it just taught me that you got to trust in God, and God got you. You have to be patient, and you really have to be in tune. Like, you really have to listen to that voice. Like, even though my back was against the wall, there was several times I had to turn certain apartments down, even though I'm like, my back is against the wall, I gotta do this, I'm desperate. Like, I had faith because I heard a voice saying, be patient. And I was obedient to that, and I got blessed. But another thing that's coming to me as I give this testimony, that don't forget God when you get what you prayed for. And I'm so guilty of that. As I record this video, I realized that I just had an epiphany. Like, I heard something about that on TikTok earlier today, or been hearing that a lot. Don't forget God when you get what you prayed for. And He blessed me with this apartment, and I kind of just threw Him to the side. And God, I'm so sorry for that. But yeah, just learn something else. But yeah, just learn from my mistake. I gotta get back on that. But just thank you so much for listening to my testimony. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're going through something similar, keep your head up. Remember, faith without works is dead. So keep doing your thing, and God got you. All right? So peace and love to you all. I hope you all have a great day. And if there's any other story time that you want to hear, or any kind of videos you want to hear, or any questions, just comment below and I'll be happy to answer. All right, peace, y'all. Peace.